Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभ भानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय जयतां सुरतौर्पंगो मम मंद मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोजो राधा मदन मोहनो नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गुरवे गौरचंद्राय श्रीराधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः आनंदलीलामय विग्रहाय हेमावदिव्य छवि सुंदराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय श्री चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते श्री चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय श्री नित्यानंद राम की जय श्री कृष्ण बुक की jai. Thank you all dear devotees for very kindly joining in our reading of the Krishna book. We are right now in the 8th chapter and the scene is such that Gargacharya or Gargamuni, who's the family priest of Vasudeva Maharaj, has come to Gokul and he has seen the two boys, that is Yashoda Nandan and Rohini Nandan, Rohini Suta and Yashoda Suta. Let's continue. Gargamuni then informed Nanda Maharaj, as far as your son is concerned, this child has taken different bodily complexions in different yugas, millennia. First of all, he assumed the color white, then color red, and then the color yellow. And now he has assumed the color black. Shukla Rakta Tata Pita Idanim Krishnatam Gata. Bhagavatam explains. Besides this, he was formerly the son of Vasudev. Therefore, his name should be Vasudev as well as Krishna. Some people will call him Krishna and some will call him Vasudev. So just as a side point, in when the Sanskrit gets translated to English, we have something called as the diacritics. And in diacritics, we find whenever any alphabet on top of the alphabet, when we see a dash, it's pronounced A, like Vasudev. So if you see here, there's nothing on top, so it's Vasudev. But here we find over the A, we find there's a line. So it's pronounced as A, Vasudev, just as a side point. And of course, this holds true for any other word also. Like here we find above the A, we find a line. So Giri Dhari. If the A is not there, then it's Giri Dhari. So any alphabet that has a line on top, it's pronounced A. That's just a conversion of Sanskrit to English, the diacritics. But one thing you must know, this son had many other names and activities due to his different pastimes. Gargamuni further hinted to Nanda Maharaj that his son would also be called as Giridhari because of his uncommon pastime of lifting Govardhan hill. Gargacharya actually predicted many things. Govardhan pastime is something that happened when Krishna was 7, but Gargacharya is already seeing the future. This quality, our acharyas explain, is called as Trikalagya. Gya means gyatva, or to be to know, to have the knowledge of. And Trikala means 3 times. So 3 time zones, past, present, and future. He or she who can see past, present, and future is called as Trikalagya. So Gargacharya was like that. Narad Muni is like that. And in the 10th canto, we'll find the Braja Gopis are like that. Why? Because the Braja Gopis, they say, Vishajalaapyayat Vyalarakshasad Barashamaruthat Vaidyutanalat Vishamayatmajat Vishvato Bhayat Rishabhate Vayam Rakshita Moho. In the Gopi Geet, in the 3rd verse, the gopis are chanting, and they say that, my dear Krishna, you Visha Jala Piyat, you protected us from Visha Jala, which means poisonous waters of Jamuna, that is Kaliya pastime. Vyala Rakshasat, and Vyala basically means man-eater, something with Aghasur. When Aghasur came to Braj, we know he's called as Aghasur. Vrajavasis didn't know he's called as Aghasur. So they addressed him as Mahavyal, a big man-eating demon. So they say, my dear Krishna, you protected us from Kaliya, you protected us from Aghasur, Visha Jalapiyad Vyala Rakshasad, Varasha Maruthad, Vaidyutanalad. Varasha Maruthad, you protected us from the rain, which means Giriraj pastime. And Anala, which means fire. 2 times Krishna swallowed the forest fire. And then they quote 2 pastimes. They say first is that of Aghasur. First is Arishthasur. And then they say Vyomasur. At this point, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur brings in a very interesting understanding. He says Vyomasur had not even come to Braj at that time, because Vyomasur comes later. Vyomasur comes later. He had not even come to Braj at that point. And even Arishthasur had not come to Braj. Arishthasur comes around 35th or 36th chapter of the 10th canto, and Gopi Geet is chapter 31. So when they're chanting, these 2 demons have not come, but still gopis are saying that, Krishna, you killed them and you protected us. How? How did the gopis get to know? And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur there says that gopis are Trikalagya. They can see past, present, and future. While at the same time, at that point, they remembered whatever Gargacharya said. Gargacharya had predicted that Krishna will do such and such activities. Like, for example, here he will be called Giridhari, where he will lift Giriraj. And like this, Gargacharya had predicted many things, but over a period of time, Yogamaya covered everything and the gopis forgot. But at that time, everything was lifted. And the gopis started narrating pastimes which had not even occurred. Vyomasura had not even come to Braj. Arishthasura had not come to Braj. So gopis are classic example of Trikalagya, who could see even the future. Narad Muni is like that. And here Gargacharya is like that, seeing past, present, and future. In fact, those who are genuinely sadhu and those who are pure will also have this quality. Those whose tongue is purified by chanting the holy name and who have substantially chanted for many, many years and are chanting Shuddha Nam, who are chanting the pure name, then they have something called as Vak Siddhi. Vak means the tongue and Siddhi means perfection. They have Vak Siddhi, which means they have perfection over their speech. Whatever they say will come true. Even if that is not there in the chart, but if a pure sadhu says, it will come true. That is why we go to sadhus and ask for their blessings, because the sadhus have the power to change everything. By the blessings of the sadhus, even the astrological chart can be changed. A high-class Vaishnava, but provided we follow what they say. We follow what they say. So here Gargacharya is talking about Krishna lifting Girirajji. Since Garga Muni was an astrologer, he could understand everything past and future. And thus he said, I know everything about his activities and names, but others do not know. This child will be very pleasing to all cowherd men and cows. Being very popular in Vrindavan, he will be the cause of all good fortune for you. Because of his presence, you will overcome all kinds of material calamities despite opposing elements. Gargamuni continued to say, my dear king of Vraja, in his previous births, this child many times protected righteous persons from the hands of rogues and thieves whenever there was political disruption. Your child is so powerful that anyone who will become a devotee of your boy will never be troubled by enemies. Just as demigods are always protected by Lord Vishnu, the devotees of your child will always be protected by Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who is worshipping Krishna is not required to worship anyone else. Devarshi Bhutapta Nranam Pitrunam. Deva, even the demigods, Devarshi Bhutapta Nranam Pitrunam. He is free from the debt of the demigods, the people around, his family relatives, his pitras. Why? Because Krishna is Mukunda. Gato Mukunda Pariritya Kartum. Because he's Mukunda and he liberates. Mukti Dadati Iti. He who liberates us from everything. Just by worshipping Krishna, our obligation to do other activities is completely done. Krishna Bhajan is the ultimate. Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kahe Sudrida Nishchay Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. Chaitanya Charitamrita Kaviraj Goswami says, just by doing Krishna Bhakti, all the demigods, Indra, Chandra, Agni, Vayu, Varuna, all the people around, all the Pitras, everyone is happy. We don't have to individually go around pleasing everyone. By worshipping Krishna, everyone is happy. But worshipping Krishna means bhakti. Pleasing Krishna means bhakti. Krishna is only pleased by devotion. Krishna doesn't get attracted to anything else. In the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is this pastime when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Madurai, South India. When Mahaprabhu was in Madurai, he happened to meet a devotee by the name Ramadasa Vipra. Vipra means a Brahmana. Ramdas. So by the name you can understand he was a devotee of Sri Ram. So Mahaprabhu meets this devotee Ramdas Vipra, and Mahaprabhu goes to his house, and Mahaprabhu sits down for lunch and there's no lunch. So Mahaprabhu looks at him and says, what happened? There's no lunch. And he says he's so much dipped in Ram Bhakti that he tells Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, oh, when Lakshman will go out and bring vegetables and fruits, then Sita Maiya will cook. Then you will get something. This is Gaur Leela going on, dear devotees. Ram Leela happened in Treta Yuga. But he was so much dipped in Ram Leela, in the pastimes of Sri Ram, that he tells Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Lakshman will go out and get vegetables and fruits, then Sita Maiya will cook, then you can have. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy. He said, okay. And then as they were discussing, Mahaprabhu saw that Ramdas Vipra was very sad. So Mahaprabhu asked him, what happened? And then he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I am sad because that demon Ravan, he came and kidnapped Maya Sita. When Sri Ram was not there and even Lakshman wasn't there, he tricked Maya Sita and he kidnapped Maya Sita, and my heart is burning to see that Maya Sita was kidnapped. So when Sri Ram heard this, Sri Ram said, no, my dear Ramdas Vipra, Maya Sita was not kidnapped. It was an illusionary form of Sita who was kidnapped. The real Sita was taken by Agni Dev. Agni Devata, fire, he took real Sita and he gave Maya Sita to Parvati. And an illusionary Maik Sita was presented in front of Ravana. So the real Sita was never taken. And Ramdas Vipra heard it, but still his heart was not satisfied. Even though he heard it from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his heart was not satisfied. He was thinking that, how did Ravana take Maya Sita? And eventually after that instance, we find Mahaprabhu, he keeps traveling. And as he keeps traveling, he comes to a place where he is hearing the narrations of different scriptures. Kurma Puran. He is hearing Kurma Puran. And as he is hearing Kurma Puran, this point is again brought up of Sita Maya being abducted. And there in the Kurma Puran, it is very clearly stated that a Maik form was taken by Ravana, while the real form of Sita was taken by Agni Dev, who was later given to Parvati. And when eventually Ravana was killed, the Agni Pariksha was done. Why? Because Sri Ram was not testing. Many times people blame Sri Ram that, oh, why did he do Agni Pariksha? What kind of love is this? Well, he did the Agni Pariksha for the fact that he wanted the original Sita back. So in the form of Agni Pariksha, the swap of Sitas can take place. The Maik Sita can leave, while the real Sita, Agni Devata, can give back to Sri Ram. So Sri Ram got the original Sita back in the form of Agni Pariksha. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw this in Kurma Puran. So he got a reference. All this while, when he told Ramadasa Vipra heard it, but he still was in his heart, he was still not convinced. But now he got Praman, he got proof. So he again came back to Madurai to meet Ramadasa Vipra. And he showed him the Praman. Look, here is the Praman. I gave a Bhagavatam class and here is the reference for it. It is clearly written in Kurma Puran that Ravana did not have any adhikar to even touch Maya Sita. So when Ramadasa Vipra heard it, he was very, very satisfied. He was very happy. And then he made Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sit down and personally with his own hands, he cooked and he fed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord is satisfied by bhakti, genuine devotion. There was no need for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go around, look for Praman and again come back. His words are Praman. When he speaks Bhagavad Gita, that is Praman. What more Praman does anyone need? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu still goes around, finds the Praman in Kurma Puran, and comes. It's only bhakti that attracts Krishna. Simple, genuine devotion. Nothing else. Manye dhana bijana rupa tapashrutojas teja prabhava bala paurusha buddhi yoga nara dhanani bhavanti parasya pumsam bhaktya tutoshna bhagavan gajayutapaya. 799 Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj. It is not our money, it is not our aristocracy, it's not in which family we are born, it's not our beauty, it's not our strength, it's not our intelligence, it's not our sensory expertise. It's none of these things that attract Krishna. Individually and collectively, they don't attract Krishna. What attracts Krishna? Simple, genuine bhakti. What is the example Prahlad Maharaj gives? Gajayutapaya, that of Gajendra. Gajendra performed simple devotion of offering one flower. Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. He gave one Pushpam, and seeing that Pushpam, the Supreme Lord comes down, sitting on the back of Garuda. Simple devotion. Prabhupada gives this example. When he was there at Radha Damodar Mandir, there was this old lady. When Prabhupada would sit inside and he would translate every single day. Prabhupada, many classes, he has said this. Every single day, he would see an old lady who was, at that time itself, she was older to Prabhupada in age. So Prabhupada at that time was already in his 60s. And this lady was already older to Prabhupada. And because she was old, she could not do any other service. So the only service that she did every single day without missing, she would take a bucket, she would go to Jamuna, she would fill the water of Jamuna in the bucket and come walking all the way to Radha Damodar Mandir and give it to the pujaris so that the pujaris can offer it to Radha Damodar every single day. That was her seva. That was her seva. And she did it every single day. And Prabhupada remembered that, and Prabhupada would share it in his classes and give the example that when Krishna says Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Toyam is water. Prabhupada would give this example that how she gave Toyam and she got Radha Damodar. So with simple water that Krishna has given, we can give it back to him and get his mercy. We don't have to do big things. We don't have to become someone very big. We can be someone very small and we can get Krishna. Krishna is not looking for whether this person has, how much service this person has done, or whether this service was, whether it was filled with fame, whether he got a lot of money, prestige. Krishna doesn't see all these things. Simple, genuine bhakti, simple, genuine devotion of the heart conquers Krishna, just like Ramadasa Vipra. So in the pastime of Ramadasa Vipra, we see that just like Mahaprabhu accepted this fact that Sita Maya, real Sita Maya, hid behind the veil of Yogamaya, while a Maik form an illusionary form was presented to Ravana. Similarly, Indra Prabhu would say that holy name is like this. How holy name is like this? Those who have a tendency like Ravana to exploit the all pure Sita like holy name, the real holy name, that is Shuddhanam, will hide behind, and it will present an illusionary form, which means the chanter will never get the pure Sita like holy name in his tongue, but he will keep chanting Namaprad because his tendency is like Ravana to exploit. How do we exploit holy name? Well, we want different things from holy name, like Dhanam, Janam, Vittam, etc. This is like the mentality of Ravana to exploit Maya Sita. The chanter will never get the all pure Sita like Harinam. But if someone is very sincere, like Jatayu, one may be in a Pashu body, in an animal body, still he may become the recipient of all pure holy name, that is Sita Maya's merciful glance. So Harinam is like that. If we have the tendency like Ravana to exploit, we will never be, unfortunately, we will never be able to chant the pure holy name, because the pure holy name will slid behind the veil of Yoga Maya. And all that we'll be chanting is simply the alphabets, mantra, akshar. So our attempt, our endeavor should be not to remain like Ravana, but to rise beyond that and make an endeavor, make an attempt to chant the all pure holy name. Gargamuni continued to say, my dear king of Vraja, oh, I think we read this section. Yes, therefore I would advise that you protect him very carefully so that he may grow without any disturbance. In other words, Gargamuni informed Nanda Maharaj that because he was a great devotee of Lord Narayan, the Lord had given him a son equal to himself. At the same time, Gargamuni indicated that his son would be disturbed by so many demons and that Nanda should therefore be careful and protect him. In this way, Gargamuni convinced Nanda Maharaj that Narayan himself had become his son. Gargamuni is practically revealing the truth that his son is Bhagavan. But what happens? Gargamuni goes back to Mathura and the Brajavasis forget everything. Nanda Maharaj forgets everything. The love supersedes all Aishwarya. All knowledge that Gargamuni is providing here, there is so much love that the Vrajavasis have for Krishna that it supersedes everything. It supersedes everything. They know he is Bhagavan. Gargacharya is practically saying it. Gargacharya will not lie. But still, love in Vrindavan is so much, it topples everything. It supersedes everything. Logic doesn't work in Braj. Love works. Everywhere outside of Vrindavan, logic works. In Vrindavan, love works. Krishna is conquered by love. There is a tug of war of love in Vrindavan. Between the friends, between Maya, between Radharani. There's a complete tug of war of love. How wonderful. In this way, Gargamuni convinced Nanda Maharaj that Narayan himself had become his son. In various ways, he described the transcendental qualities of his son. And after giving this information, Gargamuni returned to his home. Nanda Maharaj began to think of himself as the most fortunate person, and he was very satisfied to receive such benediction in this way. A short time after this incident, both Balaram and Krishna began to crawl on their hands and knees. Janubhyam sah panibhyam, Bhagavatam describes. They started crawling on their hands and knees. Janubhyam sah panibhyam. Look at the beauty. He who, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, he is the ability in man. He is the ability in man. If we are able to do anything, it is because of Krishna's power, Krishna's Shakti. Mamaiva ansha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. It's that presence of Krishna's spark that is there in our heart, because of which we are able to do what we are able to do. And he who is the ability in man, who helps people do different activities, he is learning the art of walking. Not even walking, but he's crawling. He's crawling in Vrindavan. Krishna knows that people of this world, they like small babies, whichever creature they are. And you see always in whether it's dogs who have puppies or cats who have kittens or whichever species it is, even if it's uh, a tiger cub, a lion cub, in when they're small, they're very attractive. Of course, when they become big, it's very dangerous. But when they're small, they're still very attractive. Baby form in any species very attractive, and what to speak of the humans, very very attractive. वो चाहे आगे चलकर कोई टेररिस्ट भी क्यों ना बने, मैया के लिए तो वो बच्चा प्यारा ही है. आगे चलकर वो अजमल कसाब भी क्यों ना बने, मैया के लिए तो प्यारा ही है. For the mother, the child is very very dear. And what to speak when the Supreme Lord is now there as a small baby crawling in the dust of Braj, having baby walk and broken talk. How wonderful. Krishna is not even able to see mama completely. In Anand Vrindavan Shambhu Kavi Karnapur says that the gopis, the motherly gopis, they come to Krishna and they ask Krishna and Balaram that this is after a few years. And Krishna and Balaram are standing. In fact, Krishna is standing and they come to Krishna and they tell Krishna that Krishna, where is your Maya? And Krishna looks around and Krishna points to Maya Yashoda. And they tell Krishna that Krishna, who is she? How do you address her? Who is she? And then Krishna in his baby talk, broken talk, Krishna says, Mama, Ma. And then they look at Nanda Maharaj and say, who is he? And Krishna again has broken talk. When will that day come, dear devotees, when in our lives we can see the broken talk and the crawling of Krishna and Balaram? That is the perfection of human eyes. That's the perfection of human eyes. Janu Bhyam Saha Pani Bhyam. To see Krishna and Balaram being dragged in the Braj Raj, when they hold the tail of the calves. How wonderful are the calves? We were talking about puppies and kittens. How wonderful are the calves? And Krishna would hold the tail of the calves and he would be dragged in whole of Vrindavan. Why? Because he would hold the tail of the calf. It's something that he has not seen. Thakurji pehli baar dekh rahe hain. Now he holds the tail of the calf. The calf is also small. The calf gets scared. Now the calf gets scared. The calf starts running and now Krishna knows to hold, but Krishna doesn't know to leave. Bhagavan pakadna jante, Bhagavan chhodna nahi jante. What is the teaching? Krishna knows to hold the devotees. He will never give up on his devotees. Krishna can never give up. Even if someone is like Putana. Sa muncha muncha. Putana says that, my dear Putana, leave me. My dear Krishna, leave me, leave me, leave me. But Krishna, he knows to hold, he doesn't know to leave. So he holds on to the tail. Now the calf is afraid. So calf starts running. Now Krishna is afraid. He starts, he's dragged in Braj Raj. And now he gets a new name, Ghasitaram. That Lord was dragged in Braj, Ghasitaram. So what to speak of Vrindavan Dham? This is the land of sweetness. This is the land of heart's desire. This is where we want to be. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came down to give, the sweetness of the Brajavasis, the sweetness of the land of Vrindavan Dham. When they were crawling like that, they pleased their mothers. The bells tied to their waist and ankles sounded fascinating, and they would move around very pleasingly. Sometimes, just like ordinary children, they would be frightened by others and would immediately hurry to their mothers for protection. Sometimes they would fall into the clay and mud of Vrindavan and would approach their mothers smeared with clay and saffron. They were actually smeared with saffron and sandalwood pulp by their mothers. But due to crawling over muddy clay, they would simultaneously smear the bodies with clay. As soon as they would come crawling to their mothers, Yashoda and Rohini would take them on their laps and covering them with lower portion of their saris, allow them to suck their breasts. When the babies were sucking their breasts, the mother the mothers would see small teeth coming in. Maiya would see small, small teeth. Thus, their joy would be intensified to see their children grow. Sometimes the naughty babies would crawl up to the cowshed, catch the tail of a calf, and stand up, like we discussed. The calves, being disturbed, would immediately begin running here and there, and the children would be dragged over clay and cow dung, and that's why it's called Gasitaram. To see this fun, Yashoda Maiya and Rohini Maiya would call all their neighborhood friends, the gopis. Upon seeing these childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna, the gopis would be merged in transcendental bliss. In their enjoyment, they would laugh very loudly. Bhaktivinoda Thakur very beautifully he says, Dekhite dekhite nijas, what is that? Dekhite dekhite braja, what is that song? Nija sthula parichay, he says, Dekhite dekhite braja bhava. And Nija sthula parichay, he says that I want to see these pastimes of Braj, and Nija sthula parichay, this stool sharir that is there, I want to give up. This gross body that is there, I want to give up, and I want to keep seeing. Dekhite, dekhite. I want to see the pastimes of Krishna, the land of Vrindavan. This is the heart's desire. We don't want anything else. With these eyes, we want to smear our eyes and perfect our eyes by seeing the pastimes of Krishna and Vrindavan. That is the ultimate desire. Vrishabhanu pure janama loilo yavata vevaha be. Vrishabhanu pure janama loilo. Where do I want to take my birth? Vrishabhanu pure, which means Barsana. Why Barsana? Because Radharani took birth in Barsana. But Yavate Vivaho be. After my marriage, do I want to stay in Barsana? No, I want to go to Yavat. Why? Because Radharani got married and went to Yavat. So wherever Radharani is there, I want to be there. That is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. If she appears in Barsana, I want to be there in Barsana. If she did her childhood pastimes in Barsana, I want to be there. And if she gets married and goes to Yavat to be with Abhimanyu, the so-called husband, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that is my desire. Wherever Radharani is there, I want to be there. Wherever Shyamasundar is there, I want to be there. And wherever both of them are, we want to be there. That is our desire. With these eyes, we want to see Braj Bhav. We want to see Braj, the land of Vrindavan Dham. In the real sense. In the real sense, after completely being purified. So with this, we are a couple of minutes over, but thank you all, dear devotees, for very kindly joining once again and inspiring me with your very kind presence. I very humbly want to stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudeva ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.